The loss of a child is among the most horrific things that can happen to a parent. Thankfully, cases of children going missing are rather uncommon, yet when they do happen, loved ones may endure profound sadness. Tragically, there have been several cases when children vanished without a trace. Welcome to the Reality Threads channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon to get all the latest updates. Move on to the story now. After missing for over 2 years, tiny Ricky Chiana's disappearance in 2017 caused widespread panic. Nevertheless, a dresser, in an unusual twist of fate, disclosed the whereabouts of the youngster. In November 2007, Ricky Juba, a lively and joyful 4-year-old, went missing. While Ricky's parents were in the midst of a heated custody battle, the youngster and his mother mysteriously disappeared. At first, the police paid little attention to Ricky and Shannon's disappearance, as they thought they had run away after a quarrel between Shannon and Ricky's father. But this was shown to be false in no time at all. Both Ricky and Shannon had vanished. No matter how thoroughly the local police searched, the two seemed to have disappeared. Michael Chimia, Ricky's father, was the main suspect in the disappearance. The police and Ricky's grandmother both suspected him of being involved. In spite of the odds being stacked against him, Michael persisted in his innocence and persisted in his search for his child. Interestingly, after the court granted complete custody of Ricky to his father Michael, Shannon and Ricky disappeared without a trace. Shannon and Ricky were immediately accused by the police of escaping with the intention of preventing Ricky's father from using his parenting rights. No one has been able to apprehend Shannon Wolong or her son since the authorities issued an arrest warrant. Diane Dose, Ricky's grandma, revealed to the police that Michael was aggressive and that Shannon should have escaped to protect Ricky from an abusive environment. Diane went to great lengths to provide an idealized image of her daughter, to the point that the authorities started to doubt her motives. Was the grandmother really concerned for her family's safety, or was she only trying to clear her daughter's name? Moreover, Diane distributed nasty pamphlets to Michael's church as part of a full-scale smear campaign. Because of Shannon's remarks and charges against Michael, he was seen with suspicion. Nevertheless, he maintained his composure and was determined not to be affected by the nasty comments. Michael had been searching for evidence linking Shannon to Ricky's disappearance, but he could never find anything. On top of that, after over 2 years, the local police had been looking for Shannon and Ricky, but they had found 0 leads. The mystery of Ricky's disappearance became more obscure as time went on. His father, however, never forgot. His pursuit of him was unwavering. The police officers' lives were turned upside down when they got an unexpected phone call. Did everyone finally get the news they were hoping for? As time went by, Michael and the authorities began to despair that Ricky would ever be located. Another miracle was required. The police then received a simple order: look beneath the dresser. This came at a time when everyone thought they had exhausted all possible options. After Ricky and Shannon went missing 2 years ago, the police searched Ricky's grandmother's house but couldn't find the youngster. However, this time they had accurate details and intended to search the house again. Just as the 911 caller had stated, the police arrived at Diane Dose's house to find a large wooden chest of drawers in an odd spot. The police squad was completely unprepared for what they were going to discover as they pulled the dresser out of the room. Would this be the turning point that everyone had been waiting for? Unbelievable stuff was under the dresser. Shannon and Ricky were found in a tiny room hidden by the massive oak cabinet that doubled as an entrance. They retreated into a corner of the uninhabitable room where they were both hiding. Ricky's dwelling quarters were more accurately characterized as a crawl space between 2 walls than a room due to their extreme diminutiveness. It is almost unbelievable that he and his mother managed to survive for more than 2 years in such a little space. I don't see how the two could have gone unnoticed all day long. No leaving the home, not even to look out the window, was allowed for Ricky. Instead, the shades were constantly drawn, and he was completely isolated from the outer world. After being locked up in that small space for so long, Ricky reacted like a toddler who had never seen the outside world when he suddenly saw sunlight, green grass, and fresh air. Nobody in the police force could understand why a mother would do anything to keep her kid in captivity for an extended period of time. The whole ordeal had a devastating effect on them. Subsequently, Diane and Shannon were both placed under arrest on suspicion. While the two were being tried in court, Diane claimed that they were just protecting Ricky from his father and doing what was best for him. As soon as he made his discovery, Social services took Ricky in to protect him. After the investigation was over, they gave him the all clear to go home. Ricky would reunite with his dad. Michael looked forward to reuniting with his kid with great anticipation. In the meanwhile, Shannon was also placed in safe custody, albeit this particular kind of safe custody was far less comfortable. Shannon got a taste of her own medicine as she was incarcerated in the county jail throughout the investigation and trial. While they awaited a judge to hear their case and decide if they were guilty of kidnapping a juvenile, at least she had sunshine, fresh air, and a window. Another inmate was Shannon's mom. Grandma and Grandpa Ricky wanted to persuade the jury that they were just trying to do what was best for their grandson. Nonetheless, they persisted in denying any wrongdoing and maintained that Michael was abusive. Would anyone believe them? Neither did Michael ever surrender or resort to self-inflicted violence. Despite all that came his way, he chose to be patient and wait for the legal system and social services to allow him to be permanently reunited with his kid. The court handed sole custody of the small boy to the father, who now takes satisfaction in his heroic fight for his son's return. Because of this, we have to wonder why a mother would kidnap her own child. Is it because she was worried Ricky wouldn't like her as much as his other parents? Alternatively, that she would no longer be permitted to see him after the award of full custody to his father? Shannon still won't tell us the truth, so we'll never know what motivated her strange behavior. The abduction plot was carried out with the help of Shannon's mother, Diane Doss. Along with her daughter, Doss appeared in court on charges of criminal abduction. Nonetheless, both maintained that their actions were completely lawful. While the true reasons for Shannon's actions may remain a mystery, one thing is certain. Ricky has returned to his rightful place with his father. Since relocating to a home with a solid parent and other children, he has been flourishing. Ricky is a cheerful, well-behaved kid who loves being with his dad now that he's over his terrifying ordeal. It is encouraging to see that Ricky seems to have been emotionally and physically untouched by the terrifying ordeal. Michael's and Ricky's friends and family say that Ricky is a very energetic young boy who loves being outside. A change in outlook on the outdoors is logical after spending almost 2 years inside. Right now, Ricky is just your average adolescent, going about his day and playing a bunch of sports. His proud father is usually there to share in his joy when he celebrates a milestone. Isn't this the perfect childhood for every kid? Surely the next video that loads on your screen will captivate you just as much if you enjoyed the narrative. To ensure that you do not miss any of our future videos, please subscribe, like, and enable notifications. Much love, and until our paths cross again in the next tale.